Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into something pretty important in the energy world, the global market for cogeneration equipment.
Right. Cogeneration. It sounds technical, but the idea is actually quite simple, isn't it?
Exactly. You might hear it called CHP, combined heat and power. Basically, it's getting both electricity and useful heat from the same energy source, all at the same time. Super efficient.
It really is. And we've got this detailed market research report to guide us. It paints a picture of, well, a seriously expanding global industry.
Seriously expanding is right. The report pegs the market size in 2025 at just under 31 billion US dollars. So USD 914.4 million.
That's already substantial.
But here's the kicker, the projection for 2033 is massive. We're talking USD 635.65 million.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR of 9.7%. Pretty hefty growth.
That 9.70%, it really does signal a strong upward curve. So our goal here for you listening is to pull out the key insights from this report.
Right. We want to help you get a handle on where things stand now, where this impressive growth is coming from, the main trends.
Without drowning you in numbers, think of it as the highlights reel for understanding a really key piece of the energy puzzle. Maybe even uncover some aha moments about energy efficiency.
Okay, let's stick with that global overview for a second. That 9.70% CAGR is impressive. What's really pushing this expansion, according to the report?
Well, the main thing seems to be this increasing demand across all sorts of industries for more energy-efficient ways of doing things.
Makes sense. Saving energy, saving money.
Exactly. Businesses, manufacturers, commercial buildings, they're seeing the benefits,
Yeah.
generating their own power and heat from one fuel source. It's both economically smart and, frankly, better for the environment.
It really is just common sense, isn't it? Why let all that heat just float away?
Precisely. Capture it, use it, don't waste it.
Okay, so efficiency is key. Now let's zoom in a bit. How does this look region by region? The report breaks it down, and it seems like there are some pretty clear differences. North America, for instance, holding the biggest slice of the pie right now.
That's right. Over 40% of the global market. The estimate for 2025 is around USD 11,438 million.
Okay.
And its growth is projected at 8.1% CGR through 2033.
Still solid growth.
Definitely. And within North America, it gets interesting. The U.S. is, well, it's the giant, right? About USD 9,024 million, growing at 7.9%.
But not the fastest.
No, actually, Canada is projected to grow faster within the region.
Yeah.
They're looking at USD 1,372 million with an 8.9% CAGR.
Oh, interesting. Canada leading the pack in North America. Why is that?
The report points to clean energy initiatives and strong industrial adoption being key drivers there.
Got it. And Mexico.
Also significant.
Yeah.
But USD 1,040 million market size and growing quite nicely at 8.6%.
Okay, so that's North America. What about across the pond in Europe?
Europe's the second largest market, holding just over 30% of the global share. Estimated size in 2025 is about USD 8,965 million, with a pretty healthy CAGR of 8.7%.
And within Europe. Any leaders?
Yeah, the UK stands out. It seems strong government policies supporting cogeneration are really helping there. We've got a market of around USD 1,506 million and a strong 9.5% CAGR.
That really shows the impact policy can have, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And Germany is another major force in Europe, about USD 1,775 million market size, 8.9% CAGR. For them, it's a mix of industrial uptake and their wider renewable energy strategies.
And there are plenty of other European countries contributing too, I assume.
Oh, definitely. You've got France, Italy, Russia, Spain, the Nordics like Sweden and Denmark, Switzerland and Luxembourg.
Yeah.
They all have their own market dynamics adding to that overall European picture.
Okay, now, the report mentioned one region with the highest projected growth rate. That's Asia-Pacific, right?
APAC.
That's the one?
APAC. Right now, they hold around 23% of the global market, estimated at USD 7,419 million for 2025.
But the growth?
That's where it gets really eye-popping, a projected CAGR of 12.5%.
12.5%. Wow.
Yeah, APAC seems to be where a huge chunk of future growth is going to happen. China is the powerhouse in the region, naturally. Largest single market there.
How large?
Around USD 3,116 million, with the 12.0% CAGR. Very strong.
And India. I hear things are moving fast there.
Extremely fast. India's market is smaller, about USD 742 million, but the growth rate is projected at a staggering 14.4% CAGR.
14.4. That really highlights the speed of industrialization and the focus on efficiency needed there.
Absolutely. And beyond China and India, you've got significant markets like Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, and Southeast Asia generally playing a big role too.
Okay, let's quickly touch on the other regions. South America.
South America accounts for just over 5% of the global market, size around USD 1,174 million in 2025, but with a solid 10.4% CAGR.
Who leads there?
Brazil's the biggest player, about USD 502 million, growing at 11.0%.
Okay.
And Argentina is also showing strong growth around USD 197 million market, but with an 11.3% CAGR. Plus, you have Colombia, Peru, Chile contributing too.
Right. And the Middle East, often energy rich, but what about cogeneration?
Smaller share, around 2% globally. That's about USD 236 million in 2025.
Yeah.
But still, a robust 11.0% CAGR is expected.
Any specific countries?
Qatar's industrial growth makes it notable. Saudi Arabia has a significant market size too, around USD 435 million, growing at 11.3%. Turkey, UAE, Egypt are also mentioned.
And finally, Africa.
Africa holds about 1% of the global market currently, roughly USD 680 million in 2025. The projected CAGR is a respectable 10.0%.
Where's the focus there?
Nigeria is highlighted, partly due to government policies. South Africa has the largest market size in the region, around USD 239 million, growing at 10.9%.
But the pace and the specific reasons, they really vary quite a bit depending on where you look. Local factors matter.
Exactly. Policies, industrial base, energy priorities, it all plays a role.
This regional picture is much clearer now. Okay, let's pivot back to the drivers. We know energy efficiency is huge. What else is pushing this market forward, according to the report?
Well, a really big one is the integration with renewable energy sources.
Ah, okay. How so?
We're seeing more cogeneration systems being designed to work alongside, say, solar or wind power. It makes the whole energy setup more resilient, more stable, and, greener.
That makes a ton of sense, kind of hedging your bets energy-wise, but in a sustainable way. What else?
The basics still apply.
Yeah.
Reducing energy costs, that's always a massive driver for businesses. Improving operational efficiency overall.
Right.
If you use a lot of heat and power, cogeneration just offers a really compelling payback, getting more bang for your buck from the fuel you use.
And reliability, is that a factor?
Absolutely, especially for critical industries. Manufacturing plants, hospitals, data centers, they can't afford power outages. Cogeneration provides that extra layer of energy security, that reliable, uninterrupted supply.
So it's like a triple threat: cost savings, sustainability, and reliability.
Pretty much sums it up, a powerful combination driving adoption.
Okay, let's get a bit more granular. Within the cogeneration equipment market itself, are there specific bits that are growing particularly fast, like certain sizes or technologies?
Yes, the report does break that down. In terms of capacity, the size of the systems, the fastest growing segment right now is the 31 megawatt to 60 megawatt range.
Mid-range systems, then? What does that suggest?
It suggests growing demand probably from larger industrial sites or perhaps things like district heating networks, places needing efficient localized power in that medium to large capacity band.
Interesting. Okay, what about the actual technology being used?
The tech that's growing fastest is the combined cycle gas turbine segment.
Combined cycle. Why is that taking off?
Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency.
Yeah.
These systems are incredibly good at extracting energy. They use the waste heat from a gas turbine to spin another turbine and generate even more electricity.
Ah, so it's like a double dip on the energy generation.
Exactly. Maximizing the output. That high efficiency is really driving their adoption where natural gas is available and cost-effective.
Okay. And fuel sources. We talked about gas turbines, but what fuels overall are seeing the most growth in cogeneration?
Biomass. That's the fastest growing fuel segment identified.
Biomass, like wood chips, agricultural waste.
Precisely. And this ties directly back to what we were saying about renewables and sustainability. Using organic materials for cogeneration fits perfectly with those goals, reducing reliance on fossil fuels.
That makes sense. It connects the dots. Okay, one more segment. Applications. Where is this tech being deployed most rapidly? Which sectors?
Yeah, commercial segment is showing the fastest growth in terms of application.
Commercial. So not just heavy industry.
Right. Think office buildings, shopping malls, hospitals, hotels, large retail spaces. There's a growing realization in that sector that cogeneration offers significant energy cost savings.
And helps with their green credentials too, presumably.
Exactly. Rising energy prices plus that increasing focus on environmental responsibility seems to be driving uptake in the commercial world.
So it's really broadening out from just traditional industrial uses. Okay, this is a global market with big growth. Who are the main companies making this equipment?
Well, you've got the big established names you'd expect. People like Rolls-Royce, PLX, Siemens, ABB, they're all major players, heavily investing in R&D, partnerships, staying competitive.
Makes sense. Any specific innovations highlighted?
Yeah, the report mentions Kawasaki Heavy Industries. They've launched a 1.8 megawatt gas turbine cogeneration system. Get this, capable of running on 100% hydrogen.
Wow, 100% hydrogen. That really does point towards the future, doesn't it? Zero carbon cogeneration.
It's definitely forward-looking, a sign of where the technology is trying to go.
Any other company moves worth noting? Mergers, acquisitions?
Yes, Yanmar Energy Systems' acquisition of the Tidum Group is mentioned. It looks like a strategic move to combine Yanmar's expertise with Tidum's specific strengths in cogeneration tech.
Aiming for wider global reach.
Seems likely. Combining forces, expanding their footprint, it shows the market is active, dynamic, maybe even consolidating in some areas.
Okay, that's a lot of ground we've covered. Let's try and distill this. What are the absolute key takeaways for you, listening at home or on the go, from this deep dive?
Okay, first big takeaway. This market, cogeneration equipment, is growing significantly across the globe. And the main engine behind that growth is the push for better energy efficiency.
Right. Efficiency is paramount.
Second point, keep an eye on the Asia-Pacific region. That's where the report projects the fastest growth, suggesting major opportunities and developments there.
Okay, global growth driven by efficiency, with APAC leading the charge in speed. What else?
Third, remember the variation. Growth rates, market sizes.
Hmm.
They differ a lot from place to place. Local policies, industrial maturity, clean energy focus, these really shape the market in each country or region.
So it's not one size fits all globally.
Not at all. Fourth point, technology is evolving fast. Things like hydrogen fuel capability, those ultra-efficient combined cycle turbines, they're really shaping what's possible and what the future of cogeneration looks like.
And finally,
Finally, the link to renewables is getting stronger. The growth in biomass as a fuel is clear evidence. Cogeneration is increasingly seen as part of a broader sustainable energy solution, not just an isolated efficiency measure.
got it. So a dynamic global picture, regional variations, tech advancements, and that growing link with renewables, all driven by that core need for efficiency. That's a great summary.
Hope so.
Okay, to wrap up our deep dive, what's a final thought we can leave our listeners chewing on? Something to mull over.
Well, think beyond just the immediate industrial or commercial applications we've discussed. Consider how this rising tide of cogeneration technology might, over the long term, start to reshape things on a larger scale. Like influencing how our cities plan their energy infrastructure. Could we see more district heating powered by local CHP? Could it even, eventually, affect the energy choices available to individuals? How do these big global market trends ultimately connect back to your local energy landscape? Something to think about.